here this morning. Today is July 17th, 2023. And let's go take a look at the markets this morning. So let's take a look at the SPY. So here we are with the SPY. We are in a daily uptrend. Our trend indicator even supports that. We're over the 17 EMA. Anytime we're over the 17 EMA, these dots turn green. When we're under the 17 EMA, they turn red. So as you can see this morning, we're up here. In my opinion, we have a left shoulder here, and we're in the process of making the head of a possible future head and shoulders pattern. We are still bullish, and we're going to look at a few indicators to show you that there's still possibly more upside room to work out. So we're looking at making the head for possible head and shoulders. That's just my opinion. So there we go. There we go there. And let's take a look at the 10-minute chart. Okay, so here we are on the 10-minute chart. And we have a 10-minute downtrend with lower highs and lower lows, lower high and lower low. So we're currently in a 10-minute pullback and in a 10-minute downtrend. Now, if you look at it on the 30, it's just a 30-minute pullback. On the 10-minute, it actually is a 10-minute downtrend. What signifies the difference for me, between a pullback and a downtrend is the lower highs and lower lows. Anytime I see lower highs and lower lows, that becomes a trend. If it's just moving in the 30-minute chart, like it is here, then it's just a pullback at that time. Usually pullbacks turn into trends, but right now on this 30-minute pullback, we have no lower highs and lower lows yet. We're just moving back. In the 10-minute, you can definitely see it. High, low, high, low. Can't see it in the 30. So on the 30, it's just labeled as a pullback. On the 10-minute, it's labeled as a trend. So where do we have support in the SPY? Let's take a look here. And here's our quad lines. Midpoint is all the way back here, about 444.25. You can see the minor support lined up with these three daily price action candles right here on the 30th, the 3rd, and the 5th, right there, right through there. So there's our support. Right now, we're looking at intraday support, which is right about right there. That would be our intraday support right there. And you can see we're already into it. So my morning SPY pivot is, and I know I have it here somewhere. There it is, 447.50. It remains at 447.50. Now, I know I got a lot of lines on my chart. Let me see if I can clean one up and try this one a little bit better. But we do have some gaps in here that could get filled. And I'll take it down to the 10. All right, so morning SPY pivot, 447.50. If we break through that, we're probably going to gap fill. And that takes us down to about 446.10. All right, if we break through 447.50. I am kind of expecting a bounce at 447.50 or somewhere in that midst. And then we have another gap just below that, and that starts at just about 445 right there. And that one runs for $2 all the way down to 443. So we are in a pullback right now for the SPY. We have a 10-minute downtrend. We'll see how far they want to take it lower. And that's where we are with the SPY. Still bullish on the daily chart. Still very much bullish on the daily chart. And let's go take a look at the QQQ. So here's our technology sector, and we'll look at that on the daily at first. And you can see we're definitely in a a daily uptrend here. Prices above the 17 EMA turns the trend indicator balls green. So everything is working out. 3 is over the 8. And you can see everything's working out up there. A little topping tail candle. So it's running into a little bit of resistance. But price is still working very, very well in the QQQ. So daily uptrend in the QQQ. And let's look at it on the 10-minute chart. And we've got a lower high and a lower low, a lower high and a lower low. On the 30-minute chart, it's just simply a pullback. So we get 10-minute trends pulling back in the QQQ and the SPY. But on the 30-minute, it's just a pullback at this time. All right, so where would support be for the QQQ? Well, the first support area is going to be, let's take a look at these right here. It's going to be right on top of those candles right there. That'll be our first one. And then if we start to break through there, we have a gap. Actually, I'm just going to move this down here for right now. And you can see we have a gap that could be filled right through there. And I'll draw that in for us. So there's the gap that's possibly could get filled right through there. Move that up a little bit. So here we are in the 30-minute pullback for the QQQ. So now let's go take a look at the diamonds. So here's the diamonds. We'll look at them on the daily chart first. Green trend indicator balls, prices moving up. Here's your trend. We have a daily uptrend. We have green trend indicator balls. And we also have 3 up over the T line. So price is bullish at this time. We're running into resistance right up here, 446, 445.50, right up there. So we have a little triangle to play out here, and it's a bullish triangle. So expect things to waffle and ping pong back and forth between the uptrend line and the resistance area. And for support, we're looking at support to be minor support will be right on top of, see these candles up here and here. Minor support is going to be 339.87. Major support is going to be below. It's going to be in this zone down here, right around 335.95. So there's your major support and your minor support right there. So price could pull back to this trend line. We'll see what happens with the diamonds. And if we look at it on the 10-minute chart, you can see on the 10-minute chart, we have a slightly lower high and not quite a lower low, but in the pre-market, we do have a lower low on the pre-market, but diamonds are still bullish at this time. That's a 10-minute chart. 30-minute chart doesn't say anything other than consolidation over to the right. So 10-minute chart, including the pre-market, shows a downtrend in the 10-minute chart. And again, on the daily, we're in an uptrend. So there's the diamonds. Now let's take a look at the IWM. This is a broader picture of the market. So here we are on the IWM. Let's take a look at this right here. Daily uptrend, as you can see right there. Green trend indicator balls. 3 is up over the 8. Things are looking good. Still looking good. Get a little triangle that needs to play out right here. You got resistance up there and trend line support right here. So things could, again, ping pong back and forth before breaking out and making a higher high. So there we are with the IWM, and we'll look at that on the 10-minute time frame. And the 10-minute time frame shows an equal high but a lower. Here's the low, And we have just a 10-minute pullback here. We do have a high there, and in the pre-market, we're making a low, but not a lower low yet. So IWM still very much bullish at this time on the daily chart and the larger time frames. Just experienced a 10-minute pullback there. Now let's go look at the one that actually moves a lot of the markets, FNGU. This is the one you want to watch. Now there's your 10-minute chart here. We do have lower highs and lower lows. 10-minute downtrend there. And if we look at it on the 30-minute chart, it's just a 30-minute pullback. If we look at it on the daily chart, we have a topping tail candle, but the 3 is still up over the 8. We have a daily uptrend, and the trend indicator balls, the 17 EMA supports that it's still in an uptrend. So there we are with all 4 indices and the FNGU, which happens to move quite a bit of the market around. So now let's take a look. Let's take a look at T2122. Still up in the bullish side of the chop zone. Notice we are making on the 15-minute chart a little bit higher lows and higher highs. So as long as they continue to do that, look for those 10-minute uptrends. Not in the T2122, but as long as they continue to make higher lows and higher highs, we're going to look for those 10-minute uptrends. So they haven't fallen through into the sell area yet. We were up in the overbought zone. This would be the overbought zone between the red line and the blue line up here. And we kind of fell out and dropped right through the buy zone back into the chop zone. And now we're trying to make our way back into the buy zone right now. So there's T2122. T2108 shows higher lows and higher highs. This is a daily chart. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So we still have a lot of room to move to the upside. So even though we feel like market's kind of toppy here, we have to look at the indicators to let us know when things are done, when things are overbaked. So right now, we're still not in the overbaked section, and we still have some room to move. Now, T2108, the last time T2108 was over 86 was actually in June of 2020, right after the COVID crisis. We hit highs of up into the 80s up here, almost, all the way into the 90s on the T2108. And that is stocks above their 40-day moving average. So as you can see, 72% of the market is above their 40-day moving average. That's a good sign. Okay. That's a good sign, really good sign. So we've still got room to move up into this 86 area all through July and possibly part of August. And I think that's CJ. What are the green purple lines? Those are just trend lines right there. If I edit it, I can remove it. That's the extend, right? Yeah. Yeah, those are the old ones, right? So these are just trends right through here. So there's T2108. We went through T2122. And now let's take a look at T2123. On the 15-minute time frame, green trend indicator ball still moving up. IWM still moving up. This is a broader picture of the market. So nice green trend indicator there. Let's look at it on the 3-bar chart. Same thing on the 3-bar chart. Green trend indicators with a whole lot of space. If you look at the price action here, remember this average is going to be a lot slower than the 15. 15 is going to mirror price more closely than the 3-bar chart. So you can see a whole lot of space here on the 3-bar chart between the trend indicator balls and the price action up here. So let's take a look at the SMH. All right, see if we can get any clues out of the market here. So here's SMH, still a daily uptrend. Everything's still working out. 3 is up over the T line. Price is over the 3. That's a good sign. Anytime you see price above the 3 EMA, it's probably a really good chance that that's a bullish stock or a bullish sector or bullish indices. So there you go. Nice bullish trend on the SMH. We still got more room. We could move to the upside. Things are looking a little toppy right now, but we haven't really crushed anything to say. It's right into minor support. This would be minor support right there, 154.76, right around that area. And major support's going to be underneath, around 147. All right, so SMH looking good. Let's go look at the transports. So here's the transports, green trend indicator balls. Things are moving up. Prices between the T line, which is the 8 EMA, and the 3 EMA at this time. So we're looking for that to bounce back up out of there. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Still daily uptrend, green trend indicator balls. And if we put the trend line in, you can see that the price action supports the trend line. So maybe a pullback to the trend line and another bounce higher. We'll see what we get. IYT looking real good. Just in the middle of a pullback. So let's look at it on the 10-minute chart. And on the 10-minute chart, we got a lower high. And there's your lower low. And probably not done making that low. Looks like they're coming all the way down here. So there's your 10-minute chart of the IYT. And if we look at it on the 30-minute, it is a 30-minute pullback. With a lower high, well, that's consolidation. Still just a 10-minute pullback. So here's IYT. Now let's go look at the financials. All right, so here we are with the financials. Let's look at them on the daily chart first. We have a daily uptrend. We have a daily uptrend in the 17 EMA. Price has fallen below the 3 EMA and is trapped between the T line and the 3 EMA here. Good sign. We're above the midpoint. Now, what I would like to see, and notice how everything's lining up for what I would like to see. Price to J hook off the 17 EMA and the midpoint and the minor support. This would be our minor support. See these tails sticking up? That's going to be our minor support. I would like to see price J hook and make a higher high right off of that midpoint. You got the trend indicator, the 17 EMA, and you got minor support. So look for price to J hook in that area. Now it may move sideways, and then the next day it spike it, and then start moving all the way back up through it again. We'll see, but that's what I'd like to see in the XLF. Yeah, those were the old ones, CJ. Those lines, old trend indicator. Those were the old trend lines that I used to use before I changed the color. So there we are with the XLF. Now let's go look at some of the other market indicators. Okay, here's our daily chart of the US dollar index. You can see we came down in a bearish move. Then we consolidated. Notice the consolidation here. Probably had a triangle play out right through here from this low up to this point right here where we broke down. You can see the other triangle kind of moving through there. So we consolidated and then we ran out of time. And it looks like here's the trend. And we bounced lower right off of the trend. So what do I expect here? Probably more consolidation. And if we look at this on an intraday chart, let's just take it on the 240. And you can see we're starting to consolidate in another bear flag pattern. Just not quite as big as the daily chart back here. It takes a little time for this to work up. But anyways, you can see we're getting into consolidation right there. Now for there it is. All right. So here's the economic calendar. For this week, we got Empire State Manufacturing Index, 830. So that happens in about 4 minutes. And tomorrow, retail sales, industrial production, business inventories, housing market index. So no FOMC or CPI or PPI. So that's pretty good news. These can move the market, these red ones, retail sales and industrial production. Same with housing starts and petroleum status report. Okay. But all in all, on the no Fed speakers, notice no Fed speakers on the agenda for this week. We got some manufacturing, we got some industrial production. But all in all, it's a quiet week. But what we do have is earnings. So here we are on the 17th. Got a few banks, nothing really major, no big major market cap, equity lifestyle properties. That seems to be an FB Financial. They're about the biggest ones on there right now. And we'll look at tomorrow. Tomorrow's calendar, we got busy day tomorrow. Bank of America, Novartis, Morgan Stanley, Schwab, Lockheed Martin, which could move the diamonds, Bank of New York Mellon, that could move the market. All the big ones up here at the top. So busy day for tomorrow. So remember, if you got some Bank of America, you might want to hedge it for tomorrow. PNC Financial, that's also another big one. And on Wednesday, we got Tesla, Netflix, Goldman Sachs, US Bank Corp, and ASML Holdings. So, and the NASDAQ. So big day on Wednesday and a big day on Tuesday. So be prepared for those. And pull back to kind of cool off for a little bit. Doesn't bother me at all. It's kind of healthy for the market to cool off before it moves higher. So I'm going to turn the recorder off. And I'll take some questions.